Going to start a little bit early on Friday with senior night. People should be in their seats, what, half an hour early to send the seniors off?
Yeah.
What does senior night mean to you at this group?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they should be in there, 30 minutes prior, so they can see those guys. It means a lot of things, not just on the football field, but if you're able to make it through this program and to be a senior and to finish your playing career, and you're going to finish getting your degree as well, and you've been through everything that we ask you to do and the way we ask you to do it, I don't think there's a better recommendation that you could put for somebody than that. If I was going to write a letter of recommendation for somebody, I would talk about what this particular individual did day in and day out, week after week, year after year, and put himself in this position. Not many people have ever done that. And so, here's a guy that's going to leave here with maybe not the experience he's going to need right away, but he's going to have all the qualities you want, and somebody that you want to be a part of your company or whatever it is. So there's a lot to it. Obviously, the football part of it for most of these guys, this is one of the last times they're going to play. And if it's the last time on the blue, I don't know that, but if it is, it's special, and they want to make sure that we make it that way, and we recognize those guys and we thank them, because that's a lot of work and a lot of dedication, a lot of sweat, blood, and tears to get to that point. And you know what? Nobody gets to see all that, but we do, and so it's a very important night, and hopefully we can end it the right way for them.
It seemed like the last game was kind of a microcosm of Brett's season, maybe some great moments and then some moments that he maybe like to have back. That final drive, I guess, a couple of the checkdowns or a couple of the shorter passes, what is that, just kind of a reminder at times that he is still a freshman and kind of learning?
Yeah, as much as you don't want to say that because of excuses, but yeah, there's some things in there. With time and no timeouts, you're better off throwing the ball away in some of those situations. Now, when you play the game, you're trying to play to win, and you're also looking at every option out there. And Jeremy McNichols is not a bad option to get the ball in his hands. It just probably wasn't the best decision to make at that time. And so, yes, moving forward, I wouldn't expect that to happen again. And you learn from it. We had a couple others in there, some fourth downs, probably had some better options. That's situational football, and it's hard. You're in a game, you're behind, you're trying to catch up, you're trying to make plays, and a lot's going on. You've been hit, and then all of a sudden it's fourth down, and you got to know that, and also recognize what you need to do to make that play the most successful it can be, and maybe look to some of the players on the field and try to get the ball to them in that situation. But everybody does it. It's magnified with the quarterback position. Everybody goes through that. Everybody has to learn certain things. He's no different. And you go back and watch the game, he's learned from it. And hopefully moving forward, we don't make those same mistakes. We make new ones, and we can correct those along the way.
Big difference in the game was the explosive plays in New Mexico's passing game.
Yeah.
And then you look at Air Force and what they did to Utah State, very similar. What are the points of emphasis in defending the passes?
Eyes. Everybody's wanting to stop the run, and then bam. They're obviously play action off the run game for that reason, and then you got somebody running down the field. It just comes down to doing your job. Do your job, play with great eyes, and don't get caught up in eventually, all right, I'm going to be in that run play, and all of a sudden they're going to throw it. And really it comes down to that. It's very simple. And so, other guys have to do their job, and if you're covering, cover. If your job is to play run, play run. And it's about as simple as that. And they can do it, and the way they do it, Air Force, with the triple option and moving a lot of guys around and getting you out of position, eventually, if you're not doing your part, they're going to pop a guy. If you do your job, all right, it'll be difficult for them to throw on us. All right, if they get a guy free, like what happened to us against New Mexico, it's not hard when the guy's running down there with 30 yards of separation to make that catch. So we just have to play with better eyes.
You mentioned just now talking about the passing with Team like Air Force, and in that last game they had a receiver go over 200. I think they had 2 guys running 500 yards for the year. What do you see out of that group, and what does that difference that make an offense like that when you have receivers like that?
Well, yeah, when you can throw it, be explosive, and their quarterback too. Obviously he's making those throws for him as well. It puts you to what I just said. I mean, it makes you do your job. I mean, if they weren't very good at throwing the ball, okay, maybe you get your eyes back there, you sneak a peek every now and then to see if it's run, and then if they throw it, I'll go catch up with them. This guy's a bad passer anyway, can't see over the line, whatever it is. All right, you might cheat a little bit. You can't do that. And that's the thing. You can't cheat. You got to do your job. You got to do what you're asked to do, and no more than that. And if that's the case, you'll be in competitive plays. Now, if they make them and you're in competitive play, because they're pretty good, they can make them. But we ask our guys to always be in a competitive position to make a play. And if they do, hey, we keep doing it. And eventually, it'll go our way because somebody else will do their job a little bit better and maybe get him on his back foot, and then we have an opportunity for that turnover. And that's really the key. So it's just being in the right place, doing your job, and keeping those plays competitive.
Air Force was good last year, won 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
How do you compare what they had on the field last year to what they have this year?
I don't know entirely yet, Bob. I haven't watched everything to do a comparison. Now, as far as the way they played, very similar. The mentality. I think they have confidence. I think that they're physical, and I think it's very comparable to last year from that standpoint. And we'll get to see that soon. Here in just a few days, we're going to get a chance to see that. And I think that when we play our game, we're better at times, and we have to do that as well. So we're trying to put ourselves in a position, to go play our very best against them too, which that's what it's going to take. We're going to have to go play our best game, and things are going to have to go our way. Hopefully we can create some turnovers, take care of the football, but it's going to be fun, and we're looking forward to it because these are 2 good teams in this conference that are playing against each other. And obviously last year they got the better of us, so hopefully this year we have a chance to go back out there and win the game.
There's really only a few teams in college football that run this triple option sort of offense. You get them back to back. Is that an advantage for you guys? I mean, I'm sure that they do things differently. If so, what kinds? I mean, what's different about these offenses?
Yeah, I don't know if it's an advantage. I wouldn't say from the last game. I can't say that after what happened. What are the differences between the two? There's a similar concepts as far as who you're reading and maybe a pitch option and all that, different ways they do it, from the gun, under center. Air Force will do maybe a little bit more even conventional stuff, run power zone off of it. They're not always running triple. They can throw it. They each have their own uniqueness to what they do with the triple option. And there's enough little flavor in there they sprinkle in that makes it difficult, and they try to get the matchups, a wheel route, a one-on-one with the corner that's not doing his job of covering. They're going to try to find ways. They can still game plan. They don't just line up and have 7 plays and, this is what we do. They've got those plays, but they also add the game plan stuff into it. And that's no different than what we do and most offenses do. And they just have a different style the majority of the time than most, and then still game plan you in what they're doing.
Getting back to the final play of the game, Austin's a kid that hasn't had a ton of opportunities, obviously, to catch passes, but the effort he gave on that play, and if you watch the game broadcast, it looked like Kelsey kind of came, streaking down there at the last second. Was there an option maybe to pitch him the ball?
Yeah, there was. I don't think in the situation he was in, I think even earlier when he kind of got corralled and got out of it, that was more of, am I going to throw it now and try to give it to somebody because it's the last play? But then he spun out of that and he was going. I think at that point you know, I'm within 5 yards, and you know, I don't know if I'm going to jump him, make him miss. I hope he falls, whatever. You know, I'm not going to pitch it back at this point. I got a full head of steam, and I'm going to go for it. And that's exactly what he did, and it didn't go our way. You know, but I mean, as far as how that play developed, and any of those plays, I mean, ones that work, you think that that's exactly how you design them. You don't. All right. I mean, that's just, none of them are ever like that. And Spurbeck ad-libbed it a little bit and got it to him earlier. And he did the rest, and it was close. You know, but still, regardless, we didn't get it. His effort was great. We didn't make it happen.
Two things. One is, I think we're about the window that originally you guys thought Finley was going to be back, so I wanted an update on his status. And then logically seems like a terrible question, but given that people are superstitious and eat the same meals and all that, given the numbers, why do you guys wear anything other than blue at home?
Yeah. Finley is he's getting better. Yeah, he's not ready. You know, he's still rehabbing. He's not too far removed from the boot. You know, so he's just starting to on the Alter G that kind of takes your weight off you a little bit. He's starting to run on that some, but he's not ready. He's still got a ways to go. Now I will say this: he's worked really hard. He looks good. You know, he's put some weight on. He's gotten bigger, and you know, he's really, in my opinion, taken advantage of it. Which, here's the thing: you get hurt, you can really take advantage of it if your mind's right. And I think he's done that. And just physically, he looks very good. He's been in every meeting. He's been on the headset. He was on the sideline. You know, so he's into everything that's going on. He had great suggestions in the game. You know, and actually had, we should do this and do that, and we went to it, and you know, they were good ideas. So, you know, he's been in tune with everything we're doing. Uniforms, yeah. I'm really not that way. I know our history with the Blues and all that, but really it's the guys behind the uniforms, you know, and what you do. And from a uniform standpoint, it's fun because we have the ability to have multiple uniforms. Guys like that. I do think that's important. That's part of, you know, what we've kind of been able to do here. And it still comes down to, you know, what we're doing behind them more than anything. So, but we'll be in blues this week for the last game of the seniors. I don't think that's any question for anybody. And, you know, hopefully we play well. Not because of that, but for the guys that are out there playing.
Harsin, today they announced that the 5A state championship team is going to be played here at Albertson Stadium on Saturday. And I heard from a number of people that you were in favor of hosting a team with game with two Treasure Valley teams in it on the blue. And just curious your thoughts on that game being played here.
Awesome. Yeah, it should be. You know, I mean, we have the best venue in the state, and that's a big deal. You know, I remember playing in that game, and not here, but when you have teams and you have opportunities to do that, I'm real happy that we have a chance to do it for them. So, and congratulations to those guys as well. And, you know, I'm glad they're here. It's going to be awesome. Hope a bunch of people come out to watch them. And it's pretty cool that we got two teams in state there playing.
You mentioned their first game last year. I'm just wondering, it seemed like kind of a turning point for your season last year at the time, and I know turnover was an issue in that game too, but if you can just maybe reflect back on that game a little bit and how you kind of turned the page after that.
Yeah, you know, I think just kind of going back to that game, I think after that game, you know, we got beat. We did have a number of turnovers, but, you know, we got beat in that game. And there was, you know, a lot of different things. And really it's more of just reality of what it takes day in and day out to really be successful every single weekend. You got to prepare the right way. Your mindset has to be correct each and every time you come in this building, and you have to bring that to the game. And you've also got to be able to overcome adversity, which, you know, we're still working on that. I think we've hurt ourselves more than just being able to overcome it every time. But we got to be able to do that. So, you know, from that point, I think we went into a bye after that game. And then we played Nevada, if I remember
Nevada
right.
before the, I think we went right back to Nevada.
We went right to Nevada. Is that what it was?
Nevada and the bye.
And then the bye. Okay. Yeah, I mean, after that, it was just, you know, it became very matter of fact is what I remember. You know, it wasn't about anything other than this is what we have to do, and this is how we have to do it, and this is what we're we're capable of doing if we do those things. And we played Nevada, and it was a high-scoring game. We won the game, and I think from that point, with that team, and that's the one thing, you know, that team last year was different, and it really has nothing to do with who we are now. That's a completely different team, that mentality. And they were very matter-of-fact. That was one thing I learned about that team last year. It was more of just, hey, this is what needs to happen, this is how we do it, and it was very a matter-of-fact, to the point. You know, in this group, we're still working through some of those things. Some weeks it's matter-of-fact, some weeks it's more motivational. Whatever that is, you know, these teams are different. And, you know, we have to overcome, like we did against Utah State, this New Mexico loss. And you know, we have our ideas, and I've got my thoughts on that, of what we need to do, but we'll see if that's going to work for us or not. But to be a matter of fact, we need to take care of the football. We need to run the ball more effectively. And then, you know, we got to play like we did on defense, other than giving up the big explosive plays. I mean, play the run the way we did it, play physical. I thought those guys did that. And not give up the explosive plays on the perimeter or through the air. You know, then we put ourselves in a better situation. Then our kicking game, and we're down there, we got points on the board. Those aren't 50-yard kicks. You know, Tyler's got to be able to make those. And, you know, everybody has to do their job and do their part in order for us to be successful. Good? Okay.